In this video, I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about your paints. And I know it can seem like quite a bit of an investment to buy these little tiny paint tubes that can range from $8 to $15. You may be thinking to yourself, why can't I just use the Crayola pan of watercolors? And these are my kids' watercolors, and I thought I would show you the difference here. So for example, let's take some of this red and paint it. Now we're going to move over here and take some of my cadmium red, that is professional watercolor, as you can see, it's just completely different tool. You can look at watercolors as your tool as an artist, and if you don't have good tools, it's a lot harder to do the job right. For kids' watercolors, the pigment in these paints is completely different. There's a lot of additives, it's meant to be safe for kids and washable, and it doesn't have any light fast qualities like a professional watercolor paint. These are meant to last a long time in the light. They won't fade, peel, or crack over time. These, you don't know how long they're going to last. So although these are super cheap and you could try practicing with them, but you're not going to have the same results, and it's hard to practice with something that reacts completely different. So moving on to our professional quality watercolor paints. My favorite brand right now for watercolors is M-Gram. This tube of paint has lasted me about 10 years, and I paint quite frequently. So a little bit of this can go a long way. It's worth the investment to make. Some other brands I've used that I like are the Winsor & Newton Professional Series. Make sure you don't buy the Winsor & Newton Cotman series. I didn't love this paint. I didn't realize it was a student grade until after I'd been using it, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it. And it feels different. It's not as saturated, and the pigment doesn't seem to go as far. I also like my Utrecht brands. There's this type and this type. They're both professional series and they work great. So when you're purchasing your paint, make sure it's professional quality, and you can start with the basic colors if you want and then add on. This one I've actually used up. This is the only tube of paint besides my black that I've actually finished for all the years that I've been painting. So don't be afraid to invest a little bit of money, and they'll go a long way. Look in the description below for a link to professional grade watercolors.